Hello, this is Smislav the Slayer. I'm going to be doing a live chess blitz commentary. And also, I'd just like to apologize for not putting up a video in so long. My computer got broken, so that's too bad, but now it's fixed. And hopefully I'll be putting up videos somewhat regularly, so I don't know if I had any other things to say after the break. I guess not. Oh, I gotta be a little rusty in this game probably, especially with the commentary part. I've actually been playing pretty well, so that's a nice thing. I played a couple of games last night. Well, I guess that's a wrap. So we're in the Sicilian Dragon and the classical variation, which I think I said before was one of the variations I'm not good against. So we'll see what I can do with this thing. So let's see. The B pawn is probably good. Queen A5 maybe, bishop to D7. Bishop to E6. I think bishop to E6 is best here. This C6 pawn is going to be a little bit of a liability. So the A pawn is not a liability anymore. I wonder about A5, A4. A4 is a little, because the knight can attack A4. But A5, maybe rook to B8, queen to C7, queen to B7, just to attack this B pawn. So rook B8, rook B1. Knight to D7. So that might be a reason. F4 might be a reason not to play bishop to E6. Though after F3, he does lose a tempo by playing it. So I wonder if just allowing F5, then playing bishop to D7, then F takes G, H takes G. That seems pretty decent. He opens the F file, but his E pawn becomes isolated. That doesn't look that scary to me. So I'm going to go ahead and just play queen to C7. Now, if E5, pawn, okay, sure, so, now here I'm going to actually think for a little bit. Bishop to D7 or bishop to C8 with a bishop to B7 follow-up. Problem with that is it blocks the B file. And do I have time to play maybe something like rook B1 or rook B8 and then bishop to A8? So that I don't block the B file, but still get this pressure on the long diagonal. I mean, I think that's going to be better. Bishop to D7, it's not really going anywhere, so. And he doesn't have much of an attack right now. Even if he plays like queen to D2, bishop to H6, I can just take, maybe I can get the queen here. And it's going to take him a little while. Well, maybe not that long. Okay, definitely bishop to B7. Now I think maybe D5 actually. I'm pretty sure knight to D7 here is good. If he plays F6, I can just win the pawn. He plays E5. Now E5 is going to be a very good square for my knight, and I don't think he can actually get me off of that square, except for his knight. I mean, I'm sorry, except for his bishop and knight, but it's going to take a while for his knight to get there. I wonder if I want to play knight E5 right here. Maybe knight E5 and then C5 maybe, just to get the bishop off this long diagonal and open up my bishop. And then maybe rook to B8, bishop to A8. I like this A5 pawn move because it prevents B4. It's the Nimzovich idea of restrain. There's a second step and then destroy. Maybe there's a first step that I missed. I'm not sure. But anyway, you basically what is that word? You force his you immobilize. That's one of them. Yeah, restrain, immobilize, or immobilize, restrain, destroy. So you basically make this B2 pawn stuck on B2 so that I can attack that point. And you know, normally when you attack a point, oh, that's a problem with bishop to with knight to E5, I suppose. Did not even see it. Talking too much about Nimzovich here. I guess I have to take here. No, actually I don't. Gonna go ahead and play, because if he takes the E pawn, that's very fine with me. So I don't have to take there. And then it's still fine if he takes the E pawn. Though now my E5 pawn is kind of fixed. Something like queen to D6 maybe? Queen takes, pawn takes? That seems pretty bad. Still don't have to take that pawn. Now his E4 pawn, see now the problem is I don't want to give up these two D5 and B5. So, my light square bishop, maybe just go back to c8? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, this little pawn thing is going to be a problem. I'm going to go ahead and... let's see, I don't want to necessarily give up the f-file that easily. Actually, yeah, I do. I want to try to maybe encourage him to open up the f-file. I think I can handle his f-file pressure pretty well. And queen takes e7 will give me... I'm thinking like queen f2, pawn takes, queen takes, and the f-pawn is still defended. So I'll just try to counterattack down this d-file while he's kind of messing with my king side. And my bishop is... Okay, excellent. So he kind of took the bait, if you will. And now this f-file should be fairly easy to guard, I think. I don't think he can harass my rook quite yet, so I'm going to go ahead and play rook to d4, then rook a to d8. Bishop to d3 looks like a pretty good move for him. Otherwise, maybe I should have played rook to d2 instead there, actually. That probably would have been better. Okay, so he wants to do that. Now I'm going to get a free move with my queen here, because queen to d file, bishop has to move. Oh no, that doesn't, because it's the knight here. I'm going to go ahead and play bishop to g7 first, with the idea of bishop to f8, and then my bishop is can go to c5 maybe, or just my bishop can do something aside from sitting on h8 without anything really to do. Now, if he plays bishop to c4, I think I'll play king to g7, and then queen to c5. I think I don't want to trade off queens here, because that would make my bishop pair work a little bit better, I think. Now, queen to f6, maybe bishop to e7. Yep, bishop to e7. And maybe queen to e3, depending on where his queen moves. I imagine his queen has to move to f3 or e1. So f3 it is. I'm wondering about queen to b6 here, just to harass this b-pawn. I actually should check my time there. I'm doing pretty well with time. So yeah, I think... Let's see. Let's think a second there. Queen to b6. His knight is knight to a4. Queen to d4. That works for me. Queen to b6, knight to a4, queen to d4. And his knight basically has to go back. And then I have the d-file all to myself, which is nice. Bishop to c4. That's sort of a problem. It's kind of a big problem. Yeah, that's kind of a big problem. Let's see. f5. Oh, I can't even move the f-pawn. Ooh, this is a real big problem. Okay, so I'm going to have to play something that's not ideal, just to defend against the mate here. So, now I'm guarding this g1 square. And I think I still want to trade off bishops, even though I'm a pawn down, or queens, I'm sorry, because I have the bishop pair, and that should be able to do something eventually. At this stage, I'm pretty sure I want to do this. And if the... Okay, that's fine with me. Now, bishop to c5, bishop to e3, maybe then bishop to, okay. Bishop to d4. King to g7 is a move I gain a tempo with my king to get it to the center. That's fine with me. Ooh, I'm getting a little low on time here. So I'm going to have to maybe stop commentating so much. Bishop to d3. Bishop to d3. Nope. b5. Then bishop to a6. No. g7. And just try to win on time. This pawn is going to be kind of a liability. That's fine. Takes. Okay, I got my pawn back. And I went on time. Excellent. Well, that's a pretty, that's a good first game back from being back for a while. I went into, I think this is a good end game for me. I did make a big mistake with queen to b6 though. That's definitely a mistake. Probably king to g7 is better here. Excuse me. Yeah, king to g7 and then f6 or maybe even h6 actually. Just to get rid of this backward f pawn kind of thing, which is I guess I should have seen that a little bit better. That's my biggest weak spot in this position. So king to g7, then maybe f6 or h6, and I think he maybe play. See, he doesn't have too many moves either. So that's one thing. I don't really have a whole lot of constructive things I can do. Maybe bishop to c8 and then bishop to e6 was actually a good move too. I still did have kind of the idea of, I like the idea of having c5 and then bishop takes e4, but it seems like that's going to be a long way away. So maybe it would be better just to get the bishop to e6. Problem is the bishop's not really attacking anything though on from e6. So I'm not sure about that plan. I think king to g7 is just the best plan here. Just to get rid of this pin too. So even if, I mean, I can like sack a pawn with f5 or something and then try to get against his king somehow. And I think in this endgame, I think I played the endgame actually pretty well, being a pawn down and whatnot. And here I think trading off queens I think was a bad move for him because his king safety is a lot better than mine. And there's just no need to. I think actually queen to d7 here is a much better move. And then I might be forced to do something like bishop to a8, which is not, which gets my bishop in kind of a bad spot. It really reduces its possibilities. So queen to d7 for him I think would be better. And I mean I really don't have. Maybe I'd have. I mean maybe that would be a problem with queen to d4 or f4 here. So maybe that's why he traded off queens, which I guess kind of makes sense. I wonder maybe if he had knight to e2 first. And then, I mean, I guess then I have c5. But then he's got bishop to d5. So then trading off the light square bishop I think would be better for him than trading off the queens. But anyway, I won't get too deep into this analysis. Except just to, just point out queen to b6 was a mistake. And I think trading off queens was a mistake for him. I think he should play queen to d... Well, yeah, I think he should play queen to d7. And then maybe just go... Well, maybe knight to e2. I'm not sure. I don't like trading off queens, but I'm not sure what he should have done. So we'll leave it at that. Alright, thanks for watching.